listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never. Say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Back-to-back 40-point games. He said back-to-back games with 8 threes. He just continues to kind of grow before eyes. What have you kind of seen from him, even in this stretch right here?
Yeah, he was fantastic tonight. You know, he's a problem, and he's shooting it from 3. He's getting to the basket. He's making plays off the dribble, and you know, we needed all everything that he brought to the game tonight. We needed it, and it's good to see him continue to grow like that.
Is this one of those silver lines when you've had Zeke this time, you've had Brandon this time, so many other guys have also, but to have him kind of be able to take his game to another level because of the opportunities that kind of have happened because of the roster?
Sure. And we've seen this from Trey pretty much since he started playing. You know, first year, you know, he steps on the floor, hit big shots. Second year, he starts. We have guys out, you know, third year, fourth year. Now he's just continuously growing, and that's what we want to see from our guys. Extremely proud of his effort on the floor tonight.
Carlo, another guy who gave some really big minutes. He comes in, gives you 10 rebounds. It's a very, very difficult matchup.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from him?
He just competed. He got in the game. We wanted to put some size on the floor, having trouble finishing possessions. He helped with that, him and Eve together. And, you know, he's going to pick things up as we continue to get him some minutes.
And with Trey, we've seen him kind of have moments where he's exploded. But how important is it in his growth to be able to sustain it the way he has these past couple of games, not just one quarter, one half, but being able to string multiple games together when you're playing at this level?
Yeah, I think it's important for him to continue to have consistency on the floor and then recognize what they're doing to him defensively. You know, teams are going to try to take the ball out of his hands. They may try to, you know, blitz him and double him in pick and rolls. So just continue to make the simple play. Now you get off of it. Your teammates are able to make some of those shots. Now the ball comes back to him and he's attacking again. And so, you know, he's a learner of the game. He's watching film. He's putting in extra work, and we're seeing it pay off.
And how much did you kind of see that in the fourth quarter? Now, you know, going really hard to take the ball away from him.
Yeah, they were trying to take the ball out of his hands, trying to stop him from touching it. When he was in pick and rolls, they had 2 guys on him, and he made the right play.
And you kind of mentioned it, but this was the first time we kind of saw look when you threw Carlo and Eve out there just to kind of fight back with some of the rebounding they were doing early on. What did you kind of see with those guys out there together?
Yeah, it's something that honestly I've been thinking about. And this was a game that allowed us to get both of those guys on the floor at the same time, and we needed them, especially tag team and Jokic, rebounding, finishing possessions, rebounding the ball. We knew if we could rebound a couple of those possessions, now we can get out in transition. We can play on an open floor. I thought they did a good job. And, you know, 2 young guys, they're going to continue to learn from here.
And he was able to get a couple buckets late, but what were they able to do for most of the game to kind of hold him down and prevent him from doing some of the stuff we've seen, you know, the past few weeks?
I think he's just knocking off some rust. He missed some time being sick. So he'll get in the gym, continue to work and you know, be more like himself next game. All right, thank you.
All right, for all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. Much love to the flock. Appreciate y'all being in the episode of Pelican Postgame Report. Late episode. Here's the Pelicans knocked off by the Nuggets 125-113 in the affair. Pelicans dropped to 12-38 on a disastrous, trifling year, a season, really pathetic. But in the end, bright spots abound. We did see some bright spots in Trey Murphy's 41-point outing tonight was really spectacular. It would have been even better in a Pelican win, but it just wasn't in the cards like many of these games. So shout out to you guys. Please do me a service. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on social media. Listen, man, it's just another day, another night with the Pelicans, right? All right. So anyway, let's get into some of the breakdown here. We'll be monitoring any other feeds. Probably Trey Murphy might make his we'll see what he got going on. I think they might stop the feed after that. We'll see. But anyway, 125-113 Pelicans go down in the game. Yeah, they stopped the feed after that. So the Pelicans 38 of 88 tonight for 43.2%. They shot 18 of 38 from downtown for 47.4%. They were 19 of 22 from the foul line. So a higher clip at the foul line, shot 18 3-pointers versus the Nuggets 12. The Nuggets 46 of 92 for 50%, 12 of 33 from downtown for 36.4. They did get a few more foul shots in there, 21 of 26 for almost 81%. They out-rebounded the Pelicans 46-41 tonight. Pelicans had 14 offensive rebounds tied with them. The assist game went to the Nuggets 28-27. And tonight's stat read, sponsored by Michael Porter Jr.'s 36 points tonight. And then, of course, 7 to 5 on the steal game, 6 to 4 on the block game. The Nuggets did their thing. The total turnovers, Pelicans only had 10 turnovers tonight with 16 points given up versus only 6 by the Nuggets. Nuggets had 6 turnovers tonight with 6 points given up off those same turnovers. They beat the Pelicans with the points in the paint 21-9. Fast break points 21-9. They beat the Pelicans in the points in the paint 60-38. So, I mean, it's just one of those situations where the Pelicans were down, and then in the second half, they tried to mount a comeback, but they just did not have enough offensive power in this game to try to compete with what the Nuggets had going on. And ultimately, the Nuggets just played better as just a better team. In some of the previous games, we've seen better performances in limited action. Zion played in 28 minutes tonight. Just 14 points tonight. He didn't look quite as dominant as he was. We've seen him over the last few games. His minutes were restricted, and they were really just pulling him out at key points and times. And I'm like, man, the season's done. Why are you still doing this bullshit? Just let him play. But it is what it is. 41 points from Trey Murphy in 38 minutes. He finished with 3 assists, 3 rebounds to go along with 13 of 21 from the field, 8 of 12 from downtown. He had 8 3-pointers. He was 7 of 7 from the foul line. CJ McCollum got on the plus side of things tonight. 30.6 rebounds and 5 assists for CJ McCollum in 35 minutes. He was 10 of 22 from the field, 5 of 9 from downtown, and he was 5 of 5 from the charity stripe as well. So a combined 71 points between Trey Murphy and CJ McCollum was not enough. We simply did not have another scorer, maybe another high scorer like Zion. If he scores in the 20s, the mid-20s, the Pelicans get it. But he was the third leading scorer with 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, and a steal. He just didn't look like he was in the floor of the game in 28 minutes, 5 of 13 from the field. The minute restrictions is just ridiculous. 8 points from Yeeves and 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals in the matchup in 34 minutes of action. Javonte Green in 28 minutes, 4 points from him. He really wasn't hitting on nothing tonight in terms of scoring. Jose Alvarado off the bench with 22 minutes. He had 8 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. He led the bench effort, but not much scoring off the bench at all from the Pelicans. We could have used some kind of scoring. Jordan Hawkins played in 14 minutes, could not find a shot. He was 0 for 4 from the field and 0 for 4 from downtown, couldn't find it tonight. Reeves came in there for 5 minutes, had 3 points. Really no production. Even as the 3 guys rotation off the bench tonight from Willie Green, really no production from the bench and no third scorer. Kind of doomed the Pelicans, tonight. And like I said, Zion Williamson just didn't look like he had the flow in the game. Did y'all seen how he looked? Yeah. And the defense, and Stacey, you got a point on that. The defense, and that's the standard thing we see with the Pelicans, bad defense, fam. We see that all the time. The layup lines, guys in drop coverage, guys don't know who they guarding, guys. It's just, I'm just so sick of seeing it, man. And it's their defensive philosophy because they do it all the time. It's not, they have a few positive plays defensively, but there's a lot of communication issues. They're dumb with the switching. It's just it's a cavalcade of ridiculousness from the Pelicans when you need them to make stops or make things happen. You see guys switching late, like Michael Porter Jr. was knocking down some shots, man, getting into a rhythm, and it's just more of the same. A low IQ defense from the Pelicans, man. In the bad moments of the game. Looking at what the Denver Nuggets did tonight, they had 27, well, actually 36 from Michael Porter Jr. He had 36 points. The man had 7 3-pointers tonight. He was 7 of 12 in 40 minutes of action. He was plus 20, 36, 7 and 2 for Michael Porter Jr. The Joker, he had another triple-double, 27 points, 10 assists, and 14 rebounds in 36 minutes. He was plus 11. So he facilitated, got his dogs going. Jamal Murray finished with 20 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and plus 18, despite the fact that he had 5 fouls. He still was making plays for him in 35 minutes of action. So 15 off the bench from Julian Strother. That guy he loves playing the Pelicans. He had 15 off the bench in 24 minutes to help them out. 11 from Christian Brown and 12 from Zeke Naji in the game. So it was just one of them situations where the big 3 for Denver did they thing, and the Pelicans really, their big 3, 2 guys stepped up. Like I said, Zion just didn't look like he was in the floor of the game tonight. And the Denver Nuggets take another one. So they will finish off the regular season series. They lead it 2-1. The final game is coming up on the 5th, which is the day before the trade deadline for the Pelicans. So yes, once again, the Pelicans go down. Of course, we know that the next matchup will pin the Pelicans with this same team coming up on the 5th, which is a couple days from now. So they'll have an opportunity to kind of sit down, lick their wounds, and get right back at it. Same arena, same time on the 5th. Can the Pelicans get their stuff together? Trey Murphy had an outer-worldly performance. CJ McCollum was really good. We just didn't have that third option. Like I said, enough offensive punch, not enough bench help either. We didn't help with the scoring. Willie Green had some, I don't know, man. It's just ridiculous. What we see, there was some suspect calling in there. It's a little bit of everything that you would anticipate seeing. So the Nuggets 15-8 at home. They'll try this again. Pelicans will try it again. Coming up in a couple of days against this same team. And, what's going to happen? Can the Pelicans switch this thing up? Can they kind of sneak out a win against the Nuggets? You guys tell me, what do you think after watching the night performance? You think Zion could come out there and perform better? Yeah, I mean, he played better than what he did tonight in 28 minutes, 14 points. Could Trey Murphy kind of give us a similar performance? Not so much for it. CJ McCollum did his thing, but we'll need a full effort, a full team. To beat a team like Denver, you need a team effort from the Pelicans. So, the refs were bad, Stacey. They were all horrible tonight, man. Horrible. Like when the Joker kind of fumbles the ball out of bounds, the guy wait till the ball goes out of bounds and calls a foul on Mekovic, and Mekovic's like, what? What was that? But it was just, I hate the referees, man. I'm just can't tell you the truth, man. Especially when they're egregiously that corrupt and stupid, man. I really can't stand those guys. But anyway, you guys call it on the Denver next matchup. That'll be popping and happening coming up on the 5th. Pelicans, man, right now they're not looking good on the season. 12-38. Just bump the minute restrictions, bro. Just bump it. Just get rid of it, man. Anyway, let's kind of cross over to some more news, man, to kind of talk about with the family members, man, before we get ready to count the dart. I know it's a late stream. Some trades happen in NBA. How about that? Some trades happen in the NBA, and they were involving two teams in the Southwest division, the division where the rotten Pelicans reside, right? So the Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks both were tied into trades over the last couple of days. Blockbuster, big trades that alter the franchise as it stands. Let's take a look at one that just happened. The Spurs add Fox, Bulls send Levine to the Kings. San Antonio gets De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Sacramento gets Zach LaVine and City Casico. And then look, all these first round, they get 3 first-round picks of 25 from Charlotte, a 27 from San Antonio, 31, which is 2031. These are the years from Minnesota. And then they get 3 second-round picks that Sacramento gives up. Sacramento gets 2025 second round pick for Chicago, the 2028 from Denver, the 2028 second round pick, their own pick there. So the Sacramento Kings are looking to kind of just, do what they got to do to try to stay relevant. And the San Antonio Spurs get De'Aaron Fox just like that without even surrendering any of the big guns, not giving up anybody of any worth there. This is what Chicago also gets Zach Collins and Trey Jones and Kevin Huerter and a 2025 first round pick from San Antonio. So there you go on that, the totality. So the Spurs basically give up Trey Jones and Zach Collins, man, to get and some picks, of course, to get De'Aaron Fox there to work along with Wemby and Chris Paul and Vassell and all these other guys there. So the San Antonio Spurs have just added a big piece to help them leapfrog levels above the dumb, despondent, corrupt, stinking, rotten, satanic ass Pelicans, move right ahead of them in many regards. And they just a fumbling, bumbling, stumbling, stupid organization, as the Spurs have now moved to get De'Aaron Fox without surrendering any of their heavy-handed pieces. Isn't that something? That's how a real organization activates and move when they're serious about winning. The Spurs wants to get back to competing, and Wemby told them that, and they got a serious piece to go along with what they have to make it so. So how about that? How about let's move to this one? How about this one? Doncic, Luka to the Lakers. AD comes back to the Southwest to join the Mavs, right? Anthony Davis. Dallas gets Anthony Davis, Max Christie, a 2029 first-round pick via the Lakers. The Lakers get Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. Utah gets Jalen Hood-Schifino, a 2025 second-round pick via the and a 2025 second-round pick via Dallas. And look at this trade here is the fact that Dallas they give up on Luka. That was a surpriser there. They get Anthony Davis and bring him here to team him with Kyrie Irving and the rest of the pieces that the Dallas Mavericks have, and they feel like they are a team ready to win right now. So what I noticed is like, okay, the Luka thing was a surprise, right? It was a big time surprise. But in the end, even Jason Kidd, they said that Jason Kidd didn't really know about it. Other people didn't know about it and such and all this kind of stuff. And they kept it under wraps until right at the last moment, pulled the trigger on it. A lot of people were throwing LeBron under there saying that he knew about all this kind of stuff. It don't matter. The bottom line is that this is what I was saying about the LA Lakers. Despite having no picks or low picks, the Lakers are always trying, hate them or love them. The Lakers are always trying to gather talent from somewhere to keep them relevant. Now, whether this is a league thing where the league gets involved or however it is, these dudes are always trying to land talent to compete, to get back to competing, to get back to championship level basketball. That's what make teams like them and others that are aggressive good every year. They don't sit on their ass. They don't sit back and let shit just pile and talk all this rhetoric. They about the business because their support base is about the business. They won't support them. They'll be heavy-handed with them. They're held to a very high standard. And that's what you see with the Lakers. Whether you like them or not, They're doing everything they can using draft capital, players, and assets to improve their team going into the future. The Dallas Mavericks are doing the same thing with Luka, bringing Anthony Davis back to the Southwest, and both Dallas and San Antonio are now head and shoulders above the dumb Pelicans as they sit there fiddling their thumbs. Reports are saying that I think Scoop B. Jackson was talking about some stuff about the Pelicans having difficulties trying to find people to give them fair value on Brandon Ingram. And now they're looking to possibly extending him on a short-term contract going into the season. You want to talk about dumb. You want to talk about incompetent. You want to talk about stupid. You want to talk about half-ass. You want to talk about liars and trash and filth. That's what you have here with the Pelicans. And I'm heavy-handed tonight for a number of reasons, but the issue is it's just really stupid on so many levels that the Pelicans can't seem to even do the simplest of things right. They can't pull off a decent trade. They can't team build. They can't get a good coach. They got to lie about everything and play games. So at the end, the two teams within the Southwest Division have leapfrogged the Pelicans, and there are still trades that are going to happen prior to the sixth. But points is that the Pelicans obviously going to make at least one trade deal to get right where they belong, where they don't have to spend no money on the luxury. That's one thing we know they're going to do, which will require them moving a cheaper asset that's like $2 million or whatever the case may be. But this is the difference. This is the problem that so many of us have with the New Orleans Pelicans organization and how they're operating on. Let me show you this tweet by Scoop. All right. He's the offers for Pelicans future and Brandon Ingram aren't really great. I'm told some have shared this afternoon that the Pelicans could consider going into the summer working out a short-term deal. The deadline is Thursday. This is what they're saying. The deal learned to toe. And it's just amazing that let me add that Zach LaVine was traded. You know how difficult it was for them to move LaVine, but guess what? He got traded. And then they're talking about none of these things that they're talking about in terms of the Pelicans trade situation, it could be verified. The Jimmy Butler thing is, I don't think that's something that's going to happen. There's also rumors about the Toronto trade that Toronto's interested in them. There are a lot of rumors saying people are interested in them, but the return is not the same. The return is not what they're getting back about. So it's just ridiculous. But let me share this article. Shout out to brother Terry Kimball. An NBA insider makes bold prediction on Pelican Ingram trade. A few major trades have occurred before the deadline. The Mavericks and Lakers shook the NBA world with seismic trades of Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis on Sunday. The Spurs acquired Sacramento Kings guard De'Aaron Fox in a 3-team deal. They sent Bulls forward Zach LaVine to the Kings. Pelicans have yet to make a deal, but many expect the team to be active ahead of the deadline. We'll see. Ingram is the name most associated with trade from New Orleans. The former All-Star forward is playing in the final year of his contract and will be unrestricted free agent next summer. NBA insider Ryan McDonough spoke on NBA TV and revealed he believes Ingram will be dealt before Thursday deadline. We'll see. Let me play this for y'all. Y'all put one in the chat if you can.
Yeah, this may not be the popular opinion, but I think Brandon Ingram is the most likely to get moved of those guys in the bill. And the reason for that is he's the only one whose contract doesn't carry beyond this year. Brandon Ingram's on an expiring contract. He makes $36 million this year. He is going to be an unrestricted free agent if he's not extended. And so far, it seems like he and the New Orleans Pelicans have been a ways apart in their contract extension talks. So I think of those four guys, Ingram is the most likely to get moved. Beal is the most difficult to move, given the no trade clause in his salary. And then, with Jimmy Butler, certainly there's motivation for Miami to move him. And with De'Aaron Fox, we'll see what happens. I think San Antonio, the seemingly favored destination of De'Aaron Fox and his group, they have a lot of assets and young players.
All right, we already know that happened, but the thing we talk about with Brandon Ingram will be interesting to say the least. He's right. It is an expiring contract. Most people usually jump at that, fam. You get a player, maybe you get him for, a percentage of the year on a rental, but, you try to re-up with him. If not, then you get his contract back on your books, $30 million on your books. That's not a bad piece for an expiring contract, as opposed to like if you have a CJ McCollum who you owe like $60 million plus over the next couple of years, this year and next year, right? It's a little different here. but it's an expiring contract, which should pique interest. So it's very interesting. We'll see what's going on. There's still a few days. Maybe they can cook something up and make it pop. I don't know about it though. Former number 2 overall pick has been dealing with injuries this season. Ingram sprained his ankle and on December the 7th has been out ever since, playing only in 18 games. He played in 64 games last season, which was the most since his rookie season. Ingram is seeking a max contract worth $50 million. Won't see it, player. With this injury history and lack of forward career growth, the Pelicans are unwilling to meet his demand. New Orleans is 12-38 and out of playoff contention. Even before the All-Star break, the Pelicans will look to shed salary and acquire assets before the trade deadline on Thursday. Don't forget, once the season ends, the Pelicans going to ultimately blame everything on injuries. That's just what they do. That's what Griffin's going to come out and do. We haven't heard from him since, but we'll see. A couple of days from the trade deadline, major trades have occurred for teams. And it's crazy, man, because I was saying when I seen the Mavericks and Lakers trade, I was like, man, damn, that's pretty interesting. Then I seen the Spurs trade. I was like, yeah, both them damn teams in the Southwest where the Pelicans are. What are they going to do? Sitting back waiting to see what the Pelicans going to do. And Zach LaVine was the crazy part is Zach LaVine. They were talking about trading this guy for the last 3 years or more. And he finally gets moved where DeRozan ended up. So him and DeRozan are teammates again on the Kings squad. And man, what could you say about the Pelicans? So still a couple of days left. Can the Pelicans pull off a seismic trade too? Could they get a player here to help out going forward? Could we get some bench depth? Could we get some assets and for the draft, whatever the case may be? We'll see, man. The Pelicans got us waiting, man. So anyway, with that being said, man, listen, man, I'm not going to hold y'all any longer on tonight's show. I know we got it going late. Big ups to all you guys. Tasha, I know y'all happy over there. You and Sean, y'all happy. Y'all got y'all De'Aaron. I tried to go over there and throw banana peels all over the floors and cause some problems. Somebody must have cleaned that shit up. See, they competent over there. That'll worked on the Pelicans. But congratulations to y'all getting y'all guys here as the Pelicans are, I don't know what the hell they doing. We just have to wait and see what's going on with these guys, man. I have no idea, man. I don't know what's going on with these guys. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So all right. And then, of course, man, let me share this with y'all. Several two-way players nearing NBA limit. NBA players on the two-way contracts operate under different regulations than the rest of the league. One of the most important differences is they're limited in the number of games they're permitted to play. For two-way players who've been with the current team since the start of the season, the number is 50 games. Each time they're listed as active counts toward the total, whether they play or not. The players who sign two-way deals during the season have their limit of games prorated. Those numbers are becoming important since we've passed the halfway point of the season. And, some of these guys are keeping up with that. Once a player hits his allotted number of games, he's not eligible to appear in an NBA as a two-way player for the rest of the season. He can remain on the team and play in the G League, but he must be signed to a standard contract to see any more NBA action. Why I showed you that? Because Brandon Boston Jr. is one of those players that the Pelicans have been dealing with that is doing that is near that 50 minutes. That's why you don't see him as often. Boston was among the two-way players most likely to earn a promotion before the season injury to DeJounte Murray. Boston has played in all 48 games in which he's been listed as active, making 10 starts and averaging almost 11 points a game and 24 minutes a night. So the Pelicans kind of holding back on that thing. After the trade deadline, we'll see what they do. But that's part of the game. Why people ask me why Brandon Boston is not being dressing down, that is because of the limitations of the two-way agreement. So there you go. So at some point you will see the Pelicans potentially after trades or whatever, the restructuring, the remaking of the team, depending on what they do at the trade deadline. Perhaps they then do that with Brandon Boston Jr. or perhaps if you can't use him on the squad, if he's not active, just send him to the G League for him to just keep doing this thing or whatever the case may be. I don't know what the hell the Pelicans are doing, man. They don't know what they're doing. That's the big point about it. But we'll just have to match it down and see what's going all the way there, man. And man, what can I tell y'all, man? It's just it's not good right now. Pelican country is not good at all right now. and we'll just have to keep an eye out on it. So anyway, yeah. Where was he at, Don? Don says, well, he was there. He was at the game tonight. Brandon Boston was at the game. He was in street clothes. And that's what I'm saying about some of this stuff that, they try to the limitations of the two-way agreement. So anyway, but he's not the only one. Kai Jones, Drew Eubanks, Diabate from the what's his name? Toppin from the Knicks. Tyrese Martin, Jordan Miller, Jared Butler. Those are other guys that's dealing with some of them game limits as well. Rollins is another dude that's dealing. So he got quite a few people that's still dealing with those type of limitations as far as that goes, man. But tonight we could have definitely used Brandon Boston's help tonight, man. His scoring off the bench, him giving us maybe 10 points or so would have really helped us kind of get over the hump, man. But yeah, it is what it is. Maybe we don't want to win, right? We just want to kind of see if we can fall right so we can pick up some capital or whatever the case may be, man. The Pelicans they're out of it before the All-Star break. That's funny. All right. So anyway, man, let's get ready to leave on that one, man. I appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Y'all do me a service. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. PPR here representing the flock and nation. Even though the Pelicans continue to stink, man, we here covering damn Pelicans. So y'all do us a service. Please help us out. Please get some support. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, man, on PPR, man. Hey, man, it's tough doing these streams, fam, but at the end of the day, man, it is what it is, man. All right, so I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one, man. Much love, and go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, bunch of train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You can double, you can press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never. Say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.